Hello, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. We are live, we are worldwide. My name is Travis. This is Oscar Mike Radio number 216, December 3rd. Yes, we kind of had to be super gummy, but okay. And I'm joined by the man, the future myth, and definitely legend now, Air Force veteran Mike Starr of Blazing Star BBQ. Mike, welcome to Oscar Mike Radio.
Thanks for having me. I was glad to be on here.
Well, so again, folks, kind of like a couple other guests I've had on, I met Mike through James Van Puren's Veteran Business Hour, and then got to know Mike and his story, and then I got to try. I got some of Mike's, barbecue sauce and pork rub and rubs, and a harmonious relationship has taken place. And I want to get, what this man is doing, because you talk about special sauce. Mike hasn't. So just briefly for us, Mike, if you would, just kind of tell us where you're coming from. What did you do in the military, and then we'll go into, what you're doing now, if you would.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me again. I'm originally from North Carolina. 1994, I joined the Air Force. Had no clue what I wanted to do in life, so sounded like a great idea. Joined, became a satellite wideband communications maintainer and operator. First duty assignment was Holloman Air Force Base in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Did a little stint there. Went to Germany for 3 years. After there, I was doing mobile comm there, and then I went to an airborne position at Offutt Air Force Base, Nebraska, where I was a part of the E4B National Airborne Operations Center, or also known as Airborne Pentagon. So pretty cool, pretty slick job there. And then I went to the data mass world in Las Vegas. Worked out in Las Vegas for 10 years with a stint in Korea, 1 year in between that 10-year period before I finished up in 2015. That's pretty much my military career.
All right.
I challenged coin business for about 8 years. Started an Asian market with me and my wife right before I finished up in the military. Did that for about 1.5 years where I cooked a lot of Asian barbecue. And then I decided that didn't work too well, and I needed to get a regular job again. So I got a regular job working as a telecommunications technician. And then earlier this year, an opportunity came about where a restaurant in Vegas wanted to use my barbecue sauce. And I was like, sure, why not? Got some good feedback on it. And then right about COVID hit time frame, I started producing samples and putting it out there, and people were asking about it. I was like, okay. So then I created the business, started selling the products, and here I am now. I have 2 sauces out that are officially been bottled with the Shed Barbecue down in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And they're working on my 4 barbecue rubs right now as we speak, and hope to have those mass produced by the end of this year with a Amazon launch the 1st of January.
Well, I'll tell you, man, it was interesting to me because, I think of myself as a carnivore. In fact, I did a little live stream for John Stacy's Super Savage, Savage Blue prototype test. And I'm sitting there eating it, and I'm like, I can't remember the last time I actually had vegetables. That's how much of a meat eater I am. And I love your shirt, by the way. That is savage.
Yeah, it's a little cheeseburger dressed up as a carrot.
There you go. There you go. But man, Mike, barbecue is not just another form of food. Barbecue to me is a religion. It's a way of life. It's an attitude. Like, for the people who really embrace barbecue, it's their thing. So, what went into your sauces and rubs that made you say, more than the restaurant? It's one thing for one restaurant to like your stuff, but what was the catalyst that said, you know what, this is good, I've got this, let's do this? Because this is not, some people are entrenched. They'll only use either their homemade or their favorite store-bought brand. And if you're in Carolina, right? I mean, so
Yeah, sure. Uh,
how did you do
I'm
that?
honestly, it comes from and I put it on my bottle. I put it on there. I say, bringing barbecue flavors from my world travels to your backyard. When I say that, I mean, my experience in the military, I traveled all over the world and had barbecue from whether it be North Carolina, Georgia, Kansas City, Memphis, Texas, and then now let's take it overseas to Germany,
What?
Korea,
Oh, wait a minute.
Japanese.
Stop. You're
Yeah.
saying Germans do barbecue?
Oh yeah, they have their own
What?
barbecue. They actually have like a schwank grill, is what they call it. Uh, and the guy that actually is the running the grill, like we call a pitmaster, right? They call him a schwanker. You know, it's kind of funny sounding, but it's true. So I mean, I had so much barbecue, man. Honestly, and barbecue has kind of always been my thing. Where you have your shop barbecues, your squadron barbecues and stuff like that. I
Right.
always a guy that volunteered to run the grill, and then just after a while, it's like, oh, it was just understood that I was going to be the one barbecuing,
Well,
and
yeah. Once you find the dude, you are the
right,
dude.
yeah, for the most part, I would smell after a shop barbecue, a squadron barbecue, I'd smell like barbecue for a couple of days, but I enjoy that smell, that ode to barbecue smell.
So this hasn't been like, it wasn't like you just were sitting there in the desert and saying, I'm going to make barbecue. This has been a lifelong thing from childhood to your worldwide travels to now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of it come from, I would go travel somewhere and I would have something amazing. I would be like, man, I want to have that, and I couldn't find it anywhere, right? So then you had no choice. It's like you either don't have it or you recreate it yourself, right? So that's what I'd find myself doing, trying to duplicate some of the stuff that I've tasted along my travels, and then just started creating stuff on my own, whether it be rubs or sauces, because I couldn't duplicate that. I couldn't go to a restaurant in the States and find it. I couldn't go to a store and just pick up this seasoning that was like, oh, okay, that was going to do it. So I just started experimenting and playing around with it. And, the sauces, like I said, I've kind of been making them for years, and people would tell me stuff, but those are your friends,
Right,
but
right.
then you start putting it out there, and then next thing you know, you get somebody from Texas order your barbecue sauce, and they go, wow, I didn't think I would ever like any other sauce outside of Texas, or something like that. You start getting that feedback and you're like, wow, okay, maybe I got something here.
Well, for me, one of the coolest things about doing this show is meeting people like, Travis Arnold, meeting people like John Stacy Curry with Semper Savage, and then talking and meeting you. And we've been talking for a while now before this show came on about, doing this and a lot of that stuff that you just talked about. But, for me, for my stuff, when I grill it or use the Ninja Foodie grill is what I do because of where I live.
Yeah.
It's always done with Tony Chachere's. That's been my go-to thing. And I wouldn't really do anything else. And I would go to the store and not really think about the sauce. I just, okay, it's there, it's on sale, and grab it.
Right.
So when I try your stuff, I'm like, kind of like with Semper Savage, man, your stuff has flavor. I don't know if that means anything to you. And I'm not a barbecue aficionado by any chance. I am a carnivore, but I'm like, the two things that came to mind is, one, I had a lot of flavor in the rub and the sauce. And unlike other store-bought brands that I would buy at the local, grocery store, I didn't need a lot of it to get that flavor.
Right.
So I don't know how other people have given you feedback, but does that fall in line with what you know about your product? I'm sure you do, but that's my feedback at a very high level.
It's not stuff that I expected early on. I was just like, you just think about it yourself, but then you start getting that feedback and people telling me like, man, I use your rubs like on everything, stuff that I even thought about. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. Like, okay, cool. I'm going to have to try that. But, I think with my rubs, the way I made my rubs, it's funny because I feel like you don't need a sauce with my rubs, but I want you to buy my sauce also. At the same time frame, the sauce itself, I feel like it's something that'll stand up on its own. It's going to, and you don't have to just put it on chicken or pork. You're just your standard stuff. I mean, I have people that dip it, in pizza or, throw it on a taco, or something like that. And you're like, okay, wow, I like that. That sounds good. I'm going to try that.
So, in this full disclosure, I use my litmus test is lamb chops or lamb cutlets, and if I'm even saying that right. And I did anything I try new is done there because lamb has a very unique taste that I actually love, and the sauce kicked it up a couple notches. And again, I didn't have to use a lot of it. I usually have to douse the meat with the sauce and let it sit there for a couple hours. My test is, okay, I shouldn't have to do that, or I don't want to do that. So I lightly coat it and let it sit there for a good 3 hours, and then I put it in the grill. And it brought out a nice flavor. I mean, it was that smoky sweetness that I'm looking for in barbecue. For the rub, I've done two things with the rub. The first thing I did is I combined it with, again, John Stacy's Semper Savage Blue prototype. Yeah. And I dipped my steak in there. That's nice. Love. I call that Blazing Savage. I'm gonna trademark that for you both and make it Blazing Savage.
Yeah, there's some pretty slick combos out there with our products and their products, so I love seeing that.
And one thing I'm doing right now, it's happening right now. If I could break my camera to the kitchen, I made my chili that my boys tear through, and I seasoned it with the rub.
Nice.
So I made the chili, put in the crock pot for 4.5 hours, and I put the rub heavily in there to see what would happen. And I'm expecting it to really bring something different that they'll love, because when I put your rub on steak, that stuff was gone in minutes. I'm like, wait a minute, where's my plate? It was gone, dude. So it's really, cool to have that sensation in your products, man. So I think my next thing I want to talk about is you're doing all this and you're growing your business, and you're growing your business in one of the worst business climates ever with COVID-19. How have you managed that?
Honestly, man, I just kind of looked at it as an opportunity to take advantage of everybody kind of being in a pause, so to speak, where I'm like, no reason to. And I think also the beneficial of people being at home and cooking from home more because they're not going out to eat and stuff like that too, at the same time frame has made it beneficial for my products to rise, because people are like, oh yeah, let me try that. That's something new. Let me give it a try. And then next thing you know, they're just, people are posting stuff left and right. And then other people that are sitting at home, because now people are on Instagram all day or on TikTok all day because they ain't got nothing going on. And they're seeing this Blazing Star logo pop up constantly.
Which is fire, by the way. We'll talk about the logo in a minute. That logo is fire.
Yeah, I try to make it pop. So
absolutely. And I think it's kind of funny, you've talked to, we've seen Heather Hargrove in the groups before, and one thing she preaches to everybody is launch. And there'd be some people a lot smarter than me say, well, hold back, don't do it right now, it's not good. But you did do that. And folks, you got to check out his Instagram. I'll have the you're going to see the Instagram link below this during the show and in the post. His Instagram is blowing up. People really are embracing this. So you're doing this during COVID-19, you're getting hits, the IG is lit. I got to talk about your logo for a second, because that thing stands out. There's no mistaking what you are with that logo. Did you make that yourself and come up with that idea?
No, I have a graphic designer that's worked with me for 8 years. Like I said, this is not my first business adventure, and everything I do, I have so many that I create, but never take it to launch, so to speak, whether it be, everything has, of course, my last name is Starr, right? So everything I do, I incorporate a star in it, right? So whether it be from my challenge coin business, which was called Challenge Coin Stars, my Asian market that was called Asian Star Market, I had aspirations of doing drones. I had Drone Star Vision. I was even looking to become a dive master. So I had Scuba Stars Adventures. So anyways, every time I do something, I actually, before I even like start a business or something like that, I have a logo design. I purchase the website. I purchase I go out and grab all the social media and I start branding it right away, and then just see what kind of attention it gets. And then if it really starts taking attention, then I go, okay, maybe I got something. Let's roll with it. And that's kind of what happened here. And yeah.
So what would you tell somebody who's like me, like another person who's thinking about starting their own business, civilian or military?
Right.
Even before you get to the website, domain name, allocation, so on and so forth, how do you summarize your business advice?
Well, first of all, I mean, you have to, like anything, you have to believe in it yourself. Because if you don't believe in it, then how can you push it? So it starts with that. Then, you put your own fillers out there to see if it's something else if others are interested in it. And if so, go for it. Because at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, you can make calculated decisions. You could invest money, small portions of money, and then make baby steps. And as you grow, I mean, you'll whether it be your cards, you get your cards out there and they start selling. Then next thing you know, you have money to reinvest into it. And you just keep doing that. You just keep, taking that money, don't pay yourself, reinvest, and just keep doing it. You just got to go for it. And you've got to grind, no matter what. I mean, I have a full-time job, and then at the same time frame, I can't stop. As soon as I get home, I got to roll with it. I got to come up with plans and things that I need to do, on my off time. So you have to be fully dedicated to it, also.
So it's a different mindset. I think some people think they're going to start a business and 3 months later, they're going to have a legion of people at their beck and call, and they're going to be able to sit back and do what they want to do. And I think you're right. I've seen it with, other people. There is the grind. Like you're not sitting there on a Sunday afternoon watching football. You're either working on your business or taking care of business, and it's a different mindset, right?
Yep, for sure. I mean, people that know me, it's funny. Before this, I'm a diehard Panthers football fan, and if I didn't have this screen back here, I could show you my memorabilia collection and stuff. But anyways, I've hardly watched any football this year, and it's all because my concentration has been on this business. Everything I do, everything I think of, every opportunity I get, I put it towards the business. My wife, she'll complain a little bit, but she knows, she sees. I mean, she's seen me do this multiple times and knows that you have to dedicate your time for it. But at the same time frame, you got to fit in the family and everything else too, which I'm trying to incorporate with traveling and stuff like that with my barbecue. So,
oh yeah. Speaking of travel, man, you got this, kick ass smoker. That's like, Blazing BBQ brand, man. That thing was awesome. I'm gonna show a picture here in a second, over this, but, what was that like getting that thing? That was awesome.
yeah, thanks, man. It's something, honestly, it's been a dream of mine forever, to have something like this smoker. So I finally got to a point where, things were going good with the business. And I'm like, you know what better way for me to promote my product if I could have this badass, excuse my language,
No. Because it
huge
is
pit,
badass.
that I could cook on and promote my products with. So I said, okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's invest the money and have one built. And so that's what I did. I had one built out in California. The guy I put a down payment on it. So he did it in about 2 months, and I picked it up. It's been about 3 weeks ago, I think. So I'm actually cooking on it right now as we speak.
I was going to ask, did you get a chance to use it yet?
Yeah, this is my third cook on it. I think I've got it all dialed in now, that's why I cooked today, on it one more time, because I got to be ready for big old turkey day on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to be having a little get together, and I'm going to have 2 turkeys, a ham, brisket, and a pork shoulder. So it's going to be one heck of a feast.
Hey, I'm checking flights to Vegas right now. I'm just making sure that I can
Got a space for you.
Well, I'll make space for certain. It's interesting. You mentioned Amazon at the beginning of our conversation. I'm really interested. What prompted you to take your product from, this kind of, bootstrapped upstart phase to getting involved with Amazon? What's that been like?
So in my challenge coin business, I actually used Amazon before, but I haven't used them in a long time frame. And it wasn't actually until I got involved with a group on, the Veterans in Business with James, and they introduced me into Amazon has a military entrepreneurship program. And anyway, so I kind of got involved with that and looking to launch, but they really sat down with me. They had a representative for Amazon that sat down with me and really talked about like the best way to set up your Amazon account to get more attention and at the same time frame. I mean, with my website, I have to depend on people finding me, word of mouth and stuff like that. But at Amazon, I'm going to be hit with instantly right in the front of 150 million shoppers instantly. So if I can get my products in Amazon, get my pictures, videos, everything, make it look top-notch, professional. So when they're scrolling and they see my products, they go, wow, look at this. This looks interesting. Let me try this out. And then hopefully start getting some of the same reviews that I'm getting on my website and getting in Google on Amazon. Because if I get that, then bam. I mean, how can I start going from my distributor, having a pallet delivered directly to Amazon's distribution center, and I don't do anything but answer messages, no shipping or anything like that. Even on my website, I'll have buy it on Amazon. Instead of buying it directly from me, you can buy it directly from Amazon and have it, next day or 2 days, whatever. And really, as a business standpoint, it just makes sense. The percentage that Amazon's taking, they're only taking 15%. That 15% is not that much when you start talking about the time and everything else that I have to invest into doing the shipping and everything else myself.
So I'm sitting there listening to this and it makes perfect sense, right? But I guess my question would be, so you're selling a pallet of stuff right now. What happens, say, in March when it gets warmer and people are outside, grilling again, when you go from a couple pallets to say like 1,000 pallets?
That would be insanity. I don't even know what to think about it, but I know this, the best way to me to get to that point is going through Amazon.
Gotcha.
So, doing it out of my house, it ain't going to happen, right? Because me personally, as a one-man show or anything like that, I can't make it happen. But that's the beauty of Amazon, is they can put it in front of the people you're trying to reach instantly. People love being able to order something, click, and then the next day it shows up at their house.
True. So
living right now, the pandemic world where, you don't even know if you can go to the grocery store and get what you want.
True. Awesome. So you have this product that you've been working on pretty much, it sounds like, all your life. And you've been to different parts of the world. What's that? Is Schwenker? Is that what the German pitmaster is called?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you've been to Germany and had barbecue in Germany. I learned something new every day. I didn't know the Germans even like barbecue. So that's cool to know. You really, and the thing is, folks, when you see, Mike on these veterans groups talking about, business practices and so on and so forth, you don't just get the business end of it, which you do. There's a real passion for his product. And I think that's the thing that I'm learning from you with this conversation and our other talks is no matter what I do, whether it's Oscar Mike Radio or the card thing I'm trying to do, Dream Greens USA, you have to come at it with authentic passion. And otherwise, why am I going to buy it, right? If you're not going to engage with your audience, why would I buy this, Mike?
I
I don't.
agree. I found I listened to somebody. It's been a while back, and it was actually one of the owners of the Shed Barbecue, and it was brother and sister Brad and Brooke. Brooke, she actually said, she goes, "You got to tell your story. If you don't tell your story, then people don't know anything about it. So yeah, authentic. Being authentic and being passionate about whatever you're doing is honestly the most important thing you can do."
So besides Amazon, it's my understanding you have new product coming out also in the early part of 2021. What are those new products? Because I have the two sauces myself, and then I got
Yep.
the original rub and the pork rub. I used the original rub in my chili today. So what else is coming out flavor-wise from Blazing Star?
So the two primary things I'm working on for sure is I have an Asian bang sauce that I plan on putting out there hopefully by February, March timeframe. I'm trying to get the rubs squared away right now with the packing company. And then as soon as that's done, then I can put my full concentration on that. And I'm also working on a keto friendly version of my original barbecue sauce. Obviously in the today of health conscious people, having, that keto friendly sauce, I've been requested multiple times. I've researched a lot of products that I think that I can use to make that happen. It's going to be a challenge, but it's one that I really want to do. I want to make happen. I have two keto friendly rubs with my all-purpose rub and my beef rub. They're both keto friendly. So I'd like to go ahead and be able to offer a keto friendly sauce that's going to bring some really nice flavors.
So with keto friendly, because I don't know much, but it's my understanding that barbecue sauce has either a heavy brown sugar base. I mean,
Yep, honey, brown sugar, or molasses. I don't care what barbecue sauce company you go with, they're going to have one of those three or a combination of those three in them. So yeah, I've definitely got a challenge ahead of me, but I think I can make it happen.
well, I mean, when I hit your sauce, I just hit a couple extra warm up attempts on my train regime and just say, it's the price of doing business. One
Right?
thing I want to tell you, Mike, before we adjourn, as our time ends down, is you did something special for, a group I'm with called the Masshole Marines. And, on behalf of Rob Montminy and the rest of the Massholes up here, we'd like to say thank you for what you did for us, because it really, helped us, hit our goals with what we were trying to do. And we hope that that we appreciated it a lot. And
No, I appreciate that. That means a lot. I mean, I'm glad I was able to be in a position to help out. I want to do more and more of that. I've been working on sending some care packages over our troops overseas and stuff like that too. So anybody that wants to donate, to do that, they're more than welcome to purchase, some of my products, and I'll ship them over, to any place, veterans in need, or any other organization. I want to help out as much as I can.
well, it was appreciated, and we certainly thank you for that. And when this stuff hits Amazon, like with Travis Arnold, who's getting ready to do his stuff on Amazon with Cason Shaving Company, I definitely want to have you on and talk about that experience, because there's a lot of us who are trying to do that, and I'm not in a position to do that yet. But for those that are, there's a feeling of trepidation, like we're getting ready to hit the button, and boy, once we do, look out.
For sure.
So I'm gonna let people know how the chili worked out with your pork rub, and kind of like with John and Stacy, you're gonna see a couple videos drop between now and when this show drops of the rub and the sauce being used, because I love it.
I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate all the support too.
Well, absolutely, man. I mean, I'd rather be doing, throw my money behind something like this than going to the store. It's not that much more money. In fact, it's pretty much the same. So I'd rather buy it from somebody like yourself than from some corporation I don't know. It's just me being me at this stage. So, folks, I'm going to have the link. What's the website people can go to learn more about your product, Mike?
Yeah, you can go to BlazingStarBBQ.com or
Nice.
follow me on social media at Blazing Star BBQ.
Awesome. Well, you just saw that flash up on the screen. It's good stuff. I would know because I love meat. I can't remember the last time I really had vegetables. I guess it's a bad thing. I don't know how I'm still alive, but fake vegan, baby. Fake vegan for sure. Nothing against vegans, but I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
We love you. It's just we love our meat more.
Precisely. That's it. Well, this is number 216 winding down. This is Christmas month. It's December 3rd. You can still get some barbecue rubs and sauces for the person who is the grill master in your life, and by going to blazingstarbbbq.com, and I promise you it's good. So, Mike, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to see what 2021 brings for you. And I'm going to lead my stuff, including this show, with authentic passion. Appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey, this is Travis with Oscar Mike Radio. I have my guest, Mike Starr with Blazing Star BBQ. We are Mission in Flight.